Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another series of Explorers Month. My name is Jay, and I'll be the host for today. Before I introduce them, let me share with you a little bit more about what Explorers Month is. It's actually an initiative by Intercultural Education, Hong Kong. Because of the pandemic, we cannot travel, so we thought, why don't we still travel around the world, but virtually and through talking with people from those countries. Which is why in May we've decided to focus on Indonesia. It's not a very it's a very big country, but not many people know much about it. I've experienced with people saying that asking me, oh, Bali, Bali is Indonesia part of Bali, and that was a bit interesting, I guess.
Actually,
yeah, it's actually, well, let's talk about that later anyway. But for today, it's part of the Fika Club. So Fika Club, the word Fika is actually from a Swedish word. It means loosely translated as some sort of coffee break. So you can see we have some food over here. It's also having a chat with people and friends through a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or some snacks. Right? It's always a way for us to enjoy a bit of food, but at the same time talk about something a bit more serious and learn about the world, which is why we have this thing called the Fika Club. Today's topic is something that I've been always interested in. Because growing up in Singapore, I do have a few Chinese-Indonesian friends in secondary schools, and my stereotype of Chinese-Indonesians are they're rich.
Not true.
They roll their tongue very well.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah.
Right.
That's probably true.
And then last but not least, they're not very good at Mandarin. Chinese.
Well,
it depends.
Yeah, I mean that was like 20 years ago, when I was still studying in secondary school, right? So that's something that we'll be discussing over the next hour. And if you are watching it live on YouTube or Facebook, please also share with us your questions. You can type it in the comment box, or on Facebook, you can also do so under the live chat, right? So I'll be taking the questions when I see them throughout the whole hour, right?
Yep.
So with that, let's start off right now by introducing our two guests over here.
Woo! Hi, guys. Yeah, so...
Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'll introduce myself. So my name is Irene. So I came from Indonesia. I'm in Hong Kong for the past 6 years, almost 7. Really happy to actually talk today because I got a lot of different questions, especially when I came to Hong Kong. Oh my god, my best friend's online. Hi. So basically, the number one question I always have is oh, are you really from Indonesia? And I'll be like, the last time I checked, yes. And the thing is, there's actually people who insist that I don't think so, and I'm like, no, I can show you my passport, everything, my birth cert maybe. But there's a lot of questions, so really happy to be able to talk about it today. Yay!
Okay, yes.
I'm Jason. I'm also from Indonesia. I've been here in Hong Kong for a year or so. Since it's been online, I didn't have that many questions about if I'm Indonesian or not. No. I think that's it for my introduction.
We'll get into it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So for those of us who are joining abroad, we are Hong Kong based. Okay. So that's why I studied and work and studied in Hong Kong, and then we have also
That's my best friend.
That's our best friend. And Jess, I think it's our Jess, right? From Medan.
Oh,
right?
hi.
Yeah. Hi, Jess. All right. And right. So today we'll be talking a little bit more. Also regarding Irene's question. I also met a lot of times where people say in Hong Kong is you don't look Indonesian.
Yeah, I get that a lot. And it's usually they're genuinely curious, oh, why do you not look like, Indonesians I usually see?
Yeah.
And you have to explain to them, oh, I'm actually Indonesian Chinese. And the next question will be, so you're from China? And I'm like, no, because I think the same as you as well. It's for many, many generations, our family has always been in Indonesia. So we'll explain to them, ethnicity-wise, we're Chinese, but nationality-wise, we're from Indonesia. So a lot of people don't really understand the concept of that. So really happy that we can actually discuss that further today.
Right. So
Yeah.
like what Irene mentioned, like even people on the road would sometimes ask us in Cantonese or sometimes ask us in Mandarin because
Yeah.
we look like we're Chinese, but
Yeah.
we're actually what we call as Indonesian Chinese.
It's actually very different from what people actually assume us to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're wearing something called the
Batik.
Batik.
batik, right?
This
Yeah.
is the national.
Brought it from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you ever see, someone walking down the streets looks Chinese but wearing
Yes.
patterns or something like that, it's
We
a
are
very
Indonesian.
pretty big indicator that
Yeah.
it's you guys are Indonesian.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about this whole, because we're talking about Indonesian being in Chinese being in Indonesia for a long time.
Yes.
Right, and as maybe for some of us in front who doesn't really know too much about history, maybe Jason, can you share a little bit about just briefly, how
just briefly.
the Chinese end up in
So
Indonesia?
during the 13th century, when the Chinese, usually from the southern part of China, because they are mostly close to the coastal areas of China, they will travel around the world, and people from the areas of Fujian and Guangdong would start to migrate to areas in Southeast Asia, and Indonesia is one of them. And during the 15th century, the Dutch East Indies also contracted some Chinese workers as artisans to build the roads and also all those kinds of industrial sectors in Indonesia, helped to build and develop. And then in this 19th and 20th century, some of the Chinese people actually fled to Indonesia because of poverty, and also during the Mao Zedong and also Chiang Kai-shek incident back then.
The Civil War.
Yeah,
right?
Civil War. So that's kind of a brief history of how those Chinese people from those areas would come to Indonesia.
Yes.
And so how many generations have you if you are able to count like
Do you know yours?
From my mother's side, I'm the 8th, and from my father, I'm the 4th generation. That's from what I heard. But from my father, I basically know it from a family photo. How about you?
Okay, my dad's side, I think I'm probably the 3rd. But mom's side probably might be about the same, 3rd or 4th. So it's been a long time. Like, I once asked my grandparents, like, oh, do you know which part of China our ancestors are from? They have no idea. Because they're born and raised in Indonesia. And when you ask them, like, somewhere there, and I'm like, where? And they're like, no idea. So that's how long it has been.
Yeah.
So that's why when we get questions like, oh, so are you Indonesian? And we're like, yeah. Because that's where our family's from.
You're born, grew up.
You grew up there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's interesting as well because even though yes we still hold like as a Singaporean Chinese or Indonesian Chinese, we still hold some Chinese traditions, but it's actually very very different from what we have maybe now in mainland China or Taiwan or Hong Kong. Right?
Yeah.
Very very different because it's been like kind of changed.
Very. I think it's more like we did talk about it how like maybe our Chinese traditions is also influenced by like Indonesian traditions
Yeah, it's getting
as well.
assimilated to
Yes.
the Indonesian culture as a whole.
Yeah, so it could be very different.
Good mix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about like the history now, right? So where can you find like the most Chinese Indonesians in Indonesia? Is it like in the bigger cities or everywhere?
It's kind of like spread around, but like even for myself, like I came from Batam, right? It's like literally your neighbor. So
Yes.
you've been to my city.
45 minutes away.
I
One
always
hour,
say
yeah.
when they ask me where's Batam, 45 minutes ferry ride from Singapore, then people will know where to find. But
Sorry.
for Jason, it's like he came from a different city. Like where did he come from?
I came from the capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta, and from where I live, it's like separated into like several regions. But West Jakarta and North Jakarta is usually probably where a lot of Chinese people are.
Yeah. For my place, you've been there. You will know we have a lot of Indonesian Chinese as well, because we're really influenced by other Southeast Asian cultures from like Singapore, Malaysia. So people there, it's very common that they speak Mandarin or even dialects. So here's the thing: we're both Indonesian Chinese, but we actually can be quite different. So when we're talking about things we do at home, or even like culture-wise, even within the country itself, we have something very different. Yeah.
And even the Chinese dialects that we speak is also different.
Yeah. You speak Hakka.
Yeah, I speak Hakka or 客家话.
Yeah. And for me, we speak Teochew, 潮州话,
潮州.
and Fujian Hua. Yes.
Oh, you also speak 福建话.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be very different.
So the dialect groups are different. Some ways of celebrating might be a bit different.
Yes.
So even though you're both are Indonesian Chinese, actually,
could be very
could be
different.
very different. And
Exactly.
you're Batam and you're Jakarta.
Yeah.
And then we also have Muskan and Linka are also there.
Hi.
Linka is from Fujian actually. So maybe some of the
Oh.
traditions will be quite interesting for her. I also have Jess from Medan. So if there's any questions the audience have about particular parts of you want to compare between different cities, we also have Jess in the comment box who can help us out a little bit there. Right. Yeah. So let's go. Let's just quickly move on then. Like for example, like in Jakarta, I guess there's Chinatown, right?
There's kind of like a Chinatown, but it's not necessarily it's not like a specific region only that Chinatown, but most Chinese people live there. Chinese-Indonesians live there,
Okay.
And in Jakarta we have a mix of people because like it's the capital city. It's more like people going to Jakarta for working and those kind of stuff. So people may come from Medan. Medan people are usually Fujian people or Hokkien. Or people from Borneo, right?
Yeah.
In Borneo, we have more of Hakka people, 客家话, but then they also have two different dialects of 客家话there. Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
So so people from Singkawang may have a different dialect from people from Pontianak.
So Singkawang is in Borneo.
Yeah, it's also so Singkawang and Pontianak is also in Borneo.
Okay.
Both of them are also in Borneo, but they speak different Hakka dialect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's complicated.
It's a big
So
country.
complicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you meet someone on the streets that there's also Indonesian Chinese, what will be your default language first?
Indonesian.
Yeah, Bahasa Indonesia, national language is default language.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, figure out where or like what dialect do you speak before you actually move on, or do you actually never speak dialect outside of your family?
It's very rare.
Very rare.
Very rare.
Even if
'Cause,
we meet like fellow Indonesian Chinese, like it's really rare to ask like, oh, which part do you come from? Which Chinese dialect do you speak?
because they don't.
Because
Yeah.
normally like our generations do not speak Chinese dialects anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like for me, like at home, I speak Mandarin, right? So I speak Mandarin at home. But when I meet friends here, like in Hong Kong, who's from Indonesia, 90% of them actually cannot speak any Chinese dialects or Mandarin.
That's
Yeah,
my stereotype.
yeah,
Right.
they actually can't. Mainly because like they never had the chance to learn. So that's why it's actually very common that when we meet Indonesian Chinese or just Indonesian in general, we just speak Indonesian.
Bahasa Indonesian.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like even in my family, even though they speak 客家话 a lot, but I normally I rarely stay at home during my early stages. My primary school, I would go outside to go to boarding school or to school. We usually use Indonesian a lot.
So actually, it's pretty assimilated already. You were saying.
Yeah.
In terms of like being the primary language being Bahasa Indonesian.
Yes.
And we have a question already from the audience from Linka. Are you celebrating Spring Festival? I guess like
Chunjie.
Chinese New
Year.
I guess that's something that we will touch upon later.
Yes.
So in a very short while, we will touch upon that. And how united is it among Indonesian Chinese? Wow. Okay.
How united?
How united is it among Indonesia? That's a tough question.
We can actually talk about that maybe later on in the last part.
Yeah.
But I think one question from Jess that I would like to answer, like when you meet Indonesian Chinese in your own city, is your default language Bahasa Indonesia? For me, no. For me, my default language is either Mandarin or English.
Because it's Batam.
Yes.
Because you are likely to meet a Singaporean
Most likely.
there.
And also like my friends among themselves actually speak Teochew or Fujianhua or Hokkien. But for me, because I'm more used to Mandarin, so I'll speak Mandarin instead.
Okay.
But majority of people do speak Indonesian. That's why the default language is usually Indonesian.
Yeah, especially in the capital city of Jakarta.
Yes.
Because like we have a lot of like mixed ethnicities in Jakarta, but if I had to say like in Borneo, for example, in my parents' hometown, the default language would be like either Melayu or Ketiawah.
Ooh.
Malayu.
Yeah.
Yeah, since it's
It's very
Right,
close.
right,
It's
right.
very
Malaysia.
close to Malaysia. It's very
Yeah.
close.
Okay,
Makes
Sabah,
sense.
Sarawak.
it really
Okay,
depends
okay.
on where you live.
Yes.
Okay,
Makes sense,
okay,
though.
okay. So
Yeah.
so Batam, so maybe for Jess as well, from Medan, I don't know what would be the default language. So you can also let us know as well. We're interested to know. I heard a lot of things about Medan. Then Colin also asked, what percentage of Indonesians are Chinese? Pretty good question.
Ooh.
Anyone has any idea?
I think it's 1.2%.
Definitely less than 3%.
Yeah, but it's one of the
Yeah.
major ethnicity,
Yes.
if I have to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe when you actually go to Indonesia, it seems like, oh, this maybe at least like 20%. But actually, in reality, it's a very small percentage.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
Indonesia is a big country.
Yes.
And
true, that's
maybe because like you can find like Indonesian Chinese live in big cities. That's why you encounter them more.
That's true,
Yes, that's right.
So when you go to like Surabaya,
Jakarta. Yeah.
there's probably higher chances that you
Yes.
meet Indonesian Chinese. right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then speaking about that, like because I remember earlier I was saying I have a lot of when I was in the secondary school I had a lot of friends who are Indonesian Chinese, and the names are always something that I'm always curious about, because you guys don't really have like Chinese names inside the
Like official
passport,
papers.
official papers, right?
Uh-huh.
I have friends like, I don't know, his name ends with like Putra, Putro, and only like one word as the name, and then no
That's my name.
last name. right?
I don't have a last name.
So how would that
Hi.
like how did that come about, or
I think it's like you have a last name.
I have last name. My last
Yes.
name is Utomo.
Yes, that is like a Indonesian last name,
Yeah,
usually,
yeah.
right? Yeah. How do you get it? then?
It really sounds like Indonesian name. So
Yeah.
so one time, like during the second president of Indonesia, they have these kind of rules where Chinese-Indonesians are expected to be assimilated with the so-called native Indonesians. And they had to change their names. So there were like one period in their school, in my parents' school, where they had to pick out their names. But since my father then was like a university student, he just picked whatever. And like his friend would suggest him to, just have Budi Utomo as your name. So Budi Utomo is actually in like a famous organization,
Yes,
education
yes.
organization.
Yeah.
So my father is Budi Utomo, and then
That's
me,
how they got
Jason
their last
Utomo.
name.
do you look at like organization? Like could be one way, like, oh, let's look at organization. Okay, let's take that name
Yeah,
as
yeah,
your
yeah.
last name.
A lot of people do that, actually.
yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah. For my case, we didn't choose anything. And they decided that instead of choosing a last name, Indonesian last name, they're like, let's just not give you a last name. So it's very common that a lot of Indonesian you'll meet actually will not have a last name. So for me, it's just Irene. And
Okay.
it's legal in Indonesia.
Would that be
Yeah.
difficult in like when you go abroad? Like let's say you're required to write a last name.
Yeah, so far I just double my name.
Oh.
So far I haven't actually met a problem. But like a lot of people said, oh, maybe in the future it could be problematic. But actually, it's very common for Indonesians to not have.
So
a
your
last
name will be like Irene in like.
Yeah, it's really sad. That's my name on Facebook. That's my name on Facebook. And like the thing is, like there was a point I just like, I just stopped, correcting people because like they just assume it's actually my name. I'm like,
Irene.
I was like, yeah, sure, but it's actually not. That's not my last name.
Mm-hmm. And like
Yeah.
most cases, if you met like Indonesian Chinese, they would have these kind of Tanoto or Tanuwijaya surname, right?
Yeah.
That's
so it's actually
there's
like,
a Tanoto there.
oh, there's
That's my
actually a
friend.
Tanoto.
Fika
Okay, okay. Yeah, so it's actually
Irene Cantik.
Let's just ignore her comment.
Cantik.
so it actually
Yes.
comes from like like an Indonesian style Chinese name. So her Chinese name would be like Chen or like Tan.
Chen.
Okay.
Tan in Hokkien.
I think you guys would have it. Yeah.
And then they would change Tan into Tanoto or Tanuwijaya.
Yes.
Oh.
That's actually a good example because she actually legally changed her name a few years back. It used to be Tan and then she changed it to Tanoto.
Okay.
She'll
Yeah.
probably WhatsApping me right now talking about why are you saying
Why are
that.
you revealing this on a public?
It's okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
basically.
So based on a last name or maybe a Hokkien last name, and then you try and put something
Yes.
to make it more
Yeah,
Indonesian.
right.
sound.
Yes,
Right.
some
So-
examples is
Yeah,
Lim will become Limantoro.
or like Salim.
Salim.
Yeah,
That is
example.
one of the most common is Salim because
Salim.
Lim, Lin,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
what
From the
else? Wijaya is the most common one. We have a Wijaya right here.
Vijaya.
Behind the camera is a Wijaya.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
What's the Wijaya there?
it's what's your surname?
Oi?
What's your name?
We?
Yeah.
Wen?
One?
Oh,
Wenjaya? I don't know.
but basically Wijaya is a
Yeah.
very common
Wijaya is
Indonesian
really
last
a
name.
common-
Okay. So it's basically
Yes.
trying to mix and mash and make a Chinese surname sound more
Indonesian.
Someone
Indonesian.
in Indonesia.
Yes.
That's one common way. And or the other way would be Jason's case where you pick some
random name.
Random.
Yes.
Random name.
Oh, my case, you don't pick anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Would someone be called like, I don't know, like okay, like you pick the wrong one, it becomes like Indomie or something.
No, I hope not.
I hope not,
Well,
right? I hope
well,
not.
so
Yeah, because like it sounds like a
well, so far we have
Yeah.
not met a guy named Indomie unless like their parents are super like big fans of Indomie.
Okay,
But
okay.
basically, so far no.
No man, okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
Okay, just say Vijaya usually is Huang, okay.
A lot,
yeah.
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Huang
And
to Oi.
okay,
Mm.
Hui Huang and
Yeah.
problematic, yes. And then maybe then Linka's question actually combined with like a Jeff's
Yes.
question in some way. It's like, can you actually tell if someone is like an Indonesian Chinese straight from the face?
No,
the face?
actually not. I think nowadays it's really hard to tell. Cause like I usually it's me because like when I first came to Hong Kong like I wasn't sure because like in my place it's very easy, you speak Mandarin or a dialect, then you're Indonesian Chinese. But then when you come from like places like let's say Jakarta, not everyone speaks Mandarin, so you're not sure. So are you Indonesian Chinese or you're not? So it's kind of like I don't know. Do you usually?
Was this about like physical appearance or something?
Kind of.
Like, how do you tell?
Let's
'Cause,
say,
like,
in
Yeah.
Indonesia.
I have a friend in my dorm.
Yeah.
He was Korean. He is Korean. He is
Yes.
Korean.
Yeah.
But then when he saw me, like he knew I was like, oh, either Malaysian or Indonesian.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, that's interesting. People
Okay.
just don't
But
assume.
what about if you are in Indonesia? Let's say
Yeah.
you are in Indonesia and then you look on the streets. Is it like you can like kind of like pinpoint like, oh, this is the Indonesian Chinese. Oh, this is the
Yeah, it's obvious.
Like how they walk.
how?
Yeah,
how
because
they,
sometimes
really?
I know like
Wait, what?
how an Indonesian girl would dress and walk.
What?
I would guess, and then
Wait a minute.
when I get closer, oh, it's my friend actually.
Huh?
Oh. I wanna actually I was gonna say can we pause but I realized it's live but wait okay so it's the first time I actually heard that but for me it's like more about appearance. I think like
Sandals, slippers, you know.
everyone wears sandals in Indonesia.
Right?
No, but I think it's more like I get what you mean by like the way they're dressed maybe because like Indonesian Chinese they usually
Gold necklace.
yeah you can say
Yeah.
that they wear shorts.
Yeah, for Hong Kong viewers, if you met like someone in the streets, you know, they look Chinese, but then they wear slippers, they wear shorts and t-shirt, then you know.
It's a Southeast Asian.
It's a Southeast
Mostly
Asian.
Southeast Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's me.
yeah, like the slippers thing actually kind of give away. Well, personally, a lot of my Indonesian friends in Hong Kong, they really like to wear slippers and go out. A lot of people here, yeah, he's wearing slippers today.
But this is because of toe injury. See?
Well, that's usually probably is. But a lot of people in Hong Kong will actually ask like, "Oh, why are you wearing slippers?" And we're like, "No,
okay.
that's how it is."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's
That's one way.
That's one way you can recognize.
Yeah,
right?
that's one way.
Yeah, and the and quite yeah. So yeah, we have a link out on the chat saying like so the name because her surname will be
Lin.
Lim. So that'll be Lim actually. So
Yeah,
it
Lim.
could have been like become like Salim. Or
Yes,
Lingkar
exactly,
Salim and-
exactly.
Okay.
Mantoro,
Yeah.
Imanjaya.
Yeah, that actually sounds very Indonesian right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So while we are on the topic of we're talking about comparing Hong Kong, be like in
Yeah.
Indonesian in Hong Kong.
Uh-huh.
Then maybe let's talk a little bit about the traditions that you guys have,
Mm.
like because earlier we talked about like Chinese-Indonesians tradition maybe like
Yeah.
being very different from the mainland Chinese or Hong Kong one, right? So then we can actually go back to Linka's question, like do you guys celebrate what kind of
We
Chinese New Year
do.
or
Yeah, we do celebrate Chinese New Year. It's actually a really big thing.
Yeah.
At least like for my family as well. It's like the main thing of the year. So they can skip like a lot of not like other holidays, but Chinese New Year is like you must come home.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
actually, like the legalized Chinese New Year as a holiday is actually a recent thing where they did like
Yep.
so it was banned during the second president, but I think after the second president, the third president, it was legalized as a national holiday in 2003. So it's actually really
Really
recent.
recent.
Oh, so
Yeah.
before that, it's just like you guys will probably have to take like some days off by yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. But the thing is, like, we do celebrate it, but I realized because this year we can't go home. So,
So sad.
I realized that people here actually celebrate differently.
Mm.
Yeah, so like I think one thing we have in common with Singapore is we'll do like Lao Ishang, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have any photos to show? Or
Yeah, I think it's good. It's shown right now. So I realized they don't do it here. So this year is the first year I don't do it because apparently it's not really common here.
Lao
But
Ishang?
yeah,
Really?
they don't do it here.
Oh, maybe because I do it with my grandma and she's Indonesian.
Oh, maybe that's
Because I
why.
did it.
No, they
Yeah.
don't do it here usually.
Oh.
Here in Hong Kong.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Hong Kong.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't do it in Hong Kong. It's not really a thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I know Singapore they do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and you have to shout like good things while you do it.
Like,
Yeah.
take the thing, we go up and then whua!
Yeah.
Like, get
But
rid.
It's not in Hong Kong?
it's not.
Because my aunt's friend,
Yeah.
she's actually Hong Kong people.
Yeah.
And she knows like what
This-
kind of things
They
that
know
say.
it, but they don't really do it.
They don't really do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's pretty recent thing when they start to do that.
Yeah. It's more
From-
common in Southeast
Yeah.
Asia
Mhm.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that, and then also like maybe like when people visit homes,
Mhm.
they will have like what do you call that?
We have
Kueh-kueh.
treats. We
Yeah,
have
it's like something like this.
Yeah. So Jess is mentioning, is that nastar?
Yes, it's
treats.
nastar.
Yeah, right. It's nastar.
It's nastar from Indonesia.
Yeah.
He got
my
it.
mom just sent me this one.
His mom sent it to him.
Mm-hmm.
So basically in Indonesia for Chinese New Year, they'll have this like at home on the table, like stacks and stacks. Not just this, but different
Not
kind
just
of
this.
cakes.
Yeah, like kue lapis.
Or like
Uh,
a lot of different kind of like
Other like drinks, like canned bottle,
yes.
canned drinks, right?
Yeah.
Either chrysanthemum or swallow.
It's usually
nest,
chrysanthemums.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, bird nest.
Yeah, bird nest.
The fake bird nest.
Yeah, the really sweet ones.
Super. But,
Yeah. So we have all that, and like it's usually on the table for guests who come visit.
Mhm.
But again, this is something I don't see here. in Hong Kong.
Yeah. This one is not here.
Yeah.
Because I think it's actually assimilated with like Indonesian culture of
Yeah.
when they do Eid Mubarak and then they come to each other's house,
They have
then
this
they serve like treats
small
for
treats.
their guests.
The kueh and the
Yes,
it's, like,
exactly.
very,
Yeah, so this is something that we have that I realize that in Hong Kong people actually don't actually have it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's actually very rare to have like those sweets as well.
Yes. Very,
And
Yeah.
something that's like pretty common is actually like visiting a friend's house. But in some of my friends' house, they don't usually invite friends. They only invite like family members for like Chinese New
Oh.
Years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we invite both like family and friends, but I do think that in Indonesian culture, I think the first day it's when you have all your families
family.
over.
Oh right, yeah. First day is
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
is
What do you
always
usually do?
Usually, with my family, I would play games a lot.
I think we have a video.
Yeah,
A video of the games.
Yeah.
yeah. I play table tennis with my family. Either table tennis or badminton.
Okay, that is like two of the most like.
Stereotypical
Stereotypical
Chinese.
Chinese sports.
Oh, but another thing I noticed about the video is that they're all wearing red.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is also
Yeah.
where we do games and those kind of stuff.
It's all wearing red though.
Uh-huh.
Okay, why I say it's because like in Hong Kong I realize on the first day of Chinese New Year, it's not a must to wear red. Some of them don't even think it's a must to wear new clothes. They just have to.
really?
Yeah, they don't. Oh, you don't know.
Because every year I wear new clothes. Even this year, my mom told me if you don't buy red clothes, it's okay, but you need to wear new clothes.
But that's the thing. I realized here is like I asked, right? Oh, are you wearing your new clothes? And they're like, oh no, why should I? I just have to look good. And I was like, wait, what? Because in Indonesia, the Chinese during Chinese New Year, they would buy new clothes. Everything inside is also new. Yeah, new. Everything has to be new. They even buy new towels sometimes. So basically,
Wow.
But like towels is like before Chinese New Year.
yeah,
Like,
but they buy it.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
buy
like
it.
excuse. I mean, it's like excuse to change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause they do like
yeah.
the big
Yeah.
cleaning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Something I realized is red. Like back home, it's like first day of Chinese New Year. My parents would actually make me go shopping to get something red to
Yeah.
wear on the first day. But
Represents like fortune.
The
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not as strict here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I mean, I think it used to be very strict in Singapore as well. But lately, I remember last 2 or 3 years, I've heard a lot of comments. I'm too lazy, you know. I just wear slippers and come out and visit a family. That's okay. Red, okay, it's good.
Yeah, lah.
Yeah, we do it for our national day anyway, so also okay. Yeah. And you know, since we are talking about these whole traditions and stuff like that, actually I want to invite my one of the Wijaya behind the camera, you know, right? Also from
Yay.
Indonesia to actually join us as well, you know. So we have
Yeah.
3 party of Indonesians, you know, who can fight it out and talk
Yes.
about like different traditions, right? So
Big-
let's have
Yay.
Nicholas, come on in and join.
Come.
Yeah. So Jess is also very interested about the ang pao and
Yes,
oh, yeah.
we got our
Yeah.
angbao.
Oh, how,
Yes.
Speaking about ang
Hello,
pao.
hello.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's
That's
good.
Nicholas.
Right. So
Yeah.
make sure we can see each other. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Sorry, I'm not wearing batik today.
Yeah, you're wearing black.
It's okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So about the ang pao that since we talk about this like red packet.
Yeah.
What's a normal red packet? Chinese New Year red packet in your opinion, like in
The amount?
Indonesia? Yeah.
The amount?
Yeah.
Well, family members would be more, but friends.
So let's say not so close. Let's say it's just like
Oh.
like an auntie giving to a like whatever nephew or like.
Oh, well, even if you're not close, but your family members, they will give you at least like okay amount.
Okay.
But if we're talking about like, let's say you meet like someone you know, acquaintance,
Friends.
how much would you normally get?
I don't really remember like each like
Yeah,
I mean
me
like the
too.
ang pao amount.
Oh, okay.
Because to me, what importance is the heart.
Oh my god.
Someone's being very, very nice.
No. For me, like if it's like from someone that I'm not really close with, it's like maybe 10,000 rupiah.
Yeah,
10,000 to 20,000 rupiah. It's like
$20,000.
$10. 10
Hong Kong dollars.
10 Hong Kong
10 Hong
dollars.
Kong dollars.
Yeah.
But if you have like a rich neighbor,
Yeah.
like my neighbor would give me like 300,000.
That is
Yeah,
150 Hong Kong dollars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or maybe you met like that rich uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that
One rich uncle.
that one rich uncle you see once a year.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Yeah.
300 or
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like it's still okay as long as there's something
There's
inside.
some-
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. So okay, that's quite okay. Like 10 Hong Kong dollars is not too bad.
It's still okay.
150, yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so and also so besides like the Chinese New Year,
Yeah.
what kind of other things do you guys celebrate or?
I wouldn't call it celebration, but the way we do weddings.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so
Weddings.
it's still like for Indonesian Chinese, like our weddings is still pretty much influenced by Chinese traditions. Like the word "si," the really big
Oh,
words.
okay.
Yeah.
Double
Two C,
happiness.
double
Yeah. We still
yeah.
have that all over the house if someone's getting married or like oranges and stuff. But one thing I realized that we have that perhaps some of you might find like wow. Oh, I think we have the pictures on. It's what we call sangjit.
Sangjit.
Sanjit.
So for in English, how we explain is that before you actually go to the wedding, you have like the male side of the family bringing like gifts to the female side.
Yeah.
Oh wait, how
Yeah,
does it?
Bachelorette.
Yeah, right.
That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, it's kind of like a mini event, which I think Jay, you can explain.
Pre-wedding mini.
Pre-wedding mini event, but when we showed Jay photos just now, how do you normally do it, like in Hong Kong or Singapore?
I mean, in Singapore, for the traditional Chinese wedding, you will that the guy will probably bring some stuff over like dried seafood, abalone, but it's usually a very very
Put in
casual,
baskets, right?
Yeah, put in basket casual events. But I'm looking at the photos and then I'm like, this looks like a proper wedding. Right?
No, it's
you have like casings and then
Yes.
you put it all the way up there like.
so the photos you're seeing right now, those are not the real actual wedding. It's what we call the pre-wedding.
Pre-wedding.
We call it the engagement day.
Yeah, engagement day.
Yeah, engagement day is the right word.
It
Yeah.
used to like represent like, oh, the male side to bachelor can sustain the
Family.
bachelor's family.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. It's a little bit okay, so they usually put it in like glass.
glass cases.
Oh, he has experience
And then
going.
you have like
yeah.
tea ceremonies.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
Oh, Nicholas, can I talk about your experience? I know you actually brought the
Yes,
things.
I actually brought the one of the things. It's like I think it's if I remember correctly, it's what I brought was oranges,
Oh.
and it's so heavy. I don't know, and I need to stand there for like an hour or so.
Holding oranges?
Yes, before giving it to the bride.
Oh my
bride-to-be.
god.
Because like they have like tea ceremony first, and then like they need to like MC talking, and me and along with 6 other people just like standing there.
Yeah.
Wait. You have an MC talking for a pre-wedding.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
in most like Indonesian events we
someone.
have MCs.
There's someone talking.
Yeah.
To host, to make sure, there's no dead air. And
Yeah,
like,
there's no awkwardness, sometimes.
It's a
Yeah.
pre-wedding.
Yes.
And then you have an actual host. You have like actual casing.
So that's why it's like a pre-wedding event.
Yeah.
It's like an
It
event.
goes to
an
show that you
actual
can
event.
sustain. You have,
Yeah.
enough money to.
It's
have
more
a
like
family.
proposals. It's more like proposals.
It's the proposal after the proposal.
Engagement.
If those pictures are just
Yeah.
the pre-wedding, how crazy are your weddings?
Oh, we actually don't show it there. Let's just leave it to everyone's imagination. But so I think we all have experiences going to weddings, right?
Relatives.
Okay, we have the classics. So the classics is the banquet style, which I think is more commonly known for even Hong Kong, right? The banquet style, you sit in a round table and then, they serve you food.
So like a 10 course.
Yeah.
It
Full
can be a
course meal.
banquet one or a buffet one where people would just stand and walk around and then meet someone
Social
new.
event.
More like a social event.
It's a networking event.
Yeah, during like the buffet one, normally like the ones who will sit on the table are those like closely related or like
Yeah.
family members only.
Okay.
So the rest will just put the food in and then just walk around and eat like
Yeah,
networking.
right.
Exactly.
Exactly, a networking
Exactly.
event. Exactly. Wait, what's the craziest one you've been?
I actually attended a wedding party like theme after Disney. So we have like this Disney themed chair and then Disney themed like stage.
Wait, what?
It's
Yes.
like a 17th
It's like
birthday party.
it's like wedding party, and then you just like because we don't have like seats, so we just stand around and. Yeah, actually, like the decoration, they have like Disney castle.
Disney Castle?
Yeah,
Castle?
Disney castle, and
Wait, so does the bride and the groom walk down and then
Yes.
I bet the invitation, the invitation
the
letter
invitation card is
would be like also Disney themed.
It's so beautiful actually. It's really beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Well, I've seen one. I mean, I didn't attend it. I was in Hong Kong, but I saw it like on Fran's IG. It's something like rainforest theme. So they actually have like water,
Oh, that's
mini
cool.
waterfall.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, in the sides and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And like you have dry ice, effects and stuff like that. No, it's really cool.
And these are like more like Indonesian Chinese kind of weddings and modern Indonesian Chinese
Modern.
Modern
weddings,
Indonesian
right?
Chinese.
And
Yeah.
as the two I suppose in a very traditional Chinese mentality, the guys have to pay more,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Oh, that actually I'm not sure. Is
So-
it?
But actually, I think it's split.
Now it's
evenly.
split.
No,
not
it's
evenly.
split. It's more of a
It's
split.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So do you guys actually feel any pressure to
He's too young
Yeah.
for this.
I know I'm too young, but I already feel the pressure.
He's too young.
Yeah,
for
because
it.
normally like Indonesian Chinese males are, especially like elder son, they're quite pressured to be like the head of the family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, same as me. I'm the only boys in my in my family
Okay.
circle.
Family.
Okay.
Yeah, in family tree, and so like the pressure is all on me.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just crazy rich Asian vibe.
I
Um,
agree.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
like crazy stories from them earlier just now about Surabaya.
Yes,
C7
crazy rich
East.
Surabaya.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
that is something that is really quite
Interesting.
also very pressurizing, right? Like at your age, you
Mm.
might think about if I marry another Indonesian Chinese girl, do I have to do this and this Disney theme wedding?
You know, because like we like in Indonesian Chinese family, normally we were considered as an adult where we can live without our parents, you know, right? Like buying our own house, especially like before marriage.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of pressured with the internet now, where we can see
Yes.
a lot of like good
Successful
successful people where they have a like grand wedding ceremony, and then they also have the pre-wedding is also kind of grand, right?
It's really
the
grand.
Sangjit.
Sangjit,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, because we want to make our girlfriends happy. So
right,
your fiance,
your
basically, at that point.
later fiance.
Especially our fiancé parents.
Right.
We need to score a point.
I don't know.
You guys are like so
I don't know for your
young.
family, but like
Yeah.
in the Indonesian Chinese, even after marriage, our parents-in-law would be like a close family to
Yeah,
us.
of course.
We would visit them
Yeah.
quite a lot, and then sometimes like even
yeah.
Chinese New Year's we would celebrate with each other. So.
I think like in Indonesian Chinese culture, it's very common to hear something like getting married is like not just two people, but two families.
Yeah.
Two families.
Yeah, so it's like a big thing. Like family is a huge thing. So that's why, it's not just about you and me in our own tiny world, but it's literally like our families and even like our families and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like intense.
Yeah.
And now I have a very like. Now I'm scared. I'm not gonna.
No,
Yeah.
no, don't be scared.
Don't be
but-
scared, guys. It's not that scary.
Because like especially in like Christian family, we have 3 ceremonies.
Yeah, we're just talking about that just now.
Yeah.
They have another thing. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah. So before marriage, we actually have some religious ceremonies.
Yeah, we ask the priest to bless us. Something.
Yeah.
That's something you have to also pay. Let me like at least the food or something like that.
It's an event.
We don't actually
It's an
have a
event. Oh,
food.
is it
Yeah.
event?
So it's just like a
Yeah.
blessing ceremony.
Blessing
Yes.
ceremony from the priest.
And then followed by pre-wedding.
Yeah.
And then followed by the
The wedding.
Yeah.
And then the honeymoon, right?
And then honeymoon is also important.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know much about honeymoon.
It's okay. We're still young.
Still
young.
The oldest
Actually,
ones are here, like we can.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have a separation here.
Yeah. So actually, in a way, it's also similar. I guess it's a very like Chinese concept that your parents-in-law, you have to please your parents-in-law
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
They have
show
lots
them
of
that-
expectation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you pay if your wedding is not very
Grand.
and then people will talk behind your back.
Yes.
and then-
Right.
People do that.
People do that.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jaslyn is saying like, oh, sometimes there are 2 weddings. What? One paid by the bride, one paid by the groom.
Whoa. Well, I mean, if they're from different places, it's very possible.
Yeah.
I
You
think
know,
so.
Indonesia is big, right?
Yes,
For
yes.
instance, if let's say I'm from Batam
Mm.
and maybe like the groom is from Jakarta, it's actually pretty far. You
Yeah.
cannot fly everyone to one place.
Mm.
That would be very expensive. So it's actually more cost effective to hold 2 weddings.
Oh.
Yeah, so that
Cost
both
effective,
sides
yeah.
of the family can actually, you know.
Except if you're very rich, then you can fly every week.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can charter a plane,
Yeah.
but
Normally, those who celebrate their wedding ceremony in Bali, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
They're so
Okay.
rich.
yeah, that's true. So some people choose to have their wedding in a place that's not their hometown. So maybe they hold it one of the most famous place, Bali, right?
Okay.
So
Bali.
they'll actually fly
people
people to Bali. They pay for a ticket
Yeah.
and your hotel.
They pay for the hotel.
But it's still like 2 to 3 days. It's
Yes.
not like a week long.
Oh.
Yeah, but still though.
Yeah, still. It's so expensive. It's so
Otherwise,
expensive.
it will be actually cheaper to just hold. Like, let's say you're from
Yeah.
Batam, and then let's say your
Yeah.
fiance is Jakarta, so you hold one in Batam, and then you fly
Yes.
to Jakarta for a second wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's also very possible.
More
more
agrees.
Cost efficient.
Yeah, that is true. So it's kind of like a society thing, I guess. Like, you know, for the sake of, you know, like, oh, we want people to, you know, see how you know,
rich and
how
all.
happy we are and stuff.
Brighter parents are richer.
Yeah.
It's really rare.
It's rare actually.
So
Yeah.
quick question, like because talk about like families and being rich, are traditional Chinese Indonesian families, are they big? Like
Big
let's say
families.
relatives. Do you have a lot of relatives or actually
Yeah.
so very
How many siblings do your parents have?
My dad has 5. My mom has more, I think. Yeah.
My mom has 8. My
Yeah.
my dad has 10.
Yeah, it's very common.
Yeah.
Mine is
Yeah.
considered not
Small.
Yeah, small.
Okay,
Mine
okay.
My mother has 4 and my dad has 6.
so similar to
Yeah.
my family
Okay.
side.
But then there's more. Like my grandpa has 10,
Yeah, same.
and then my aunts, like my dad's brother's wife, has like 12.
Oh, yeah, same.
And like we're still close to like I'm still close to my dad's cousins' children's. Yeah, we're still close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
still
big
play.
family.
yeah, and we are
it's a big
supposed to
family.
meet them every Chinese New Year.
Yeah,
Or
so
do we live like near each other
Okay.
so we can visit?
So
Yeah.
extended family, but still very close with each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
very interesting characteristics. Like, 'cause I mean, for let's say for me, I beyond my immediate family, actually, I don't even know like how many siblings you guys
I
have.
would even know my parents' cousins' children.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean,
I
it's
probably
like-
met them once in my life, but
Yeah, we would actually know, what's going on,
Yeah.
where they are
Uh-huh.
now, stuff like that.
But that's
Yeah.
not. I don't think like that's normal. Cause like even my friends in high school, like they don't really meet with their family that much.
Ah,
Yeah, it depends lah. It depends if
The
like
style.
the style of your
Yeah.
each of your family.
Yeah.
And we have a comment from Diane
Okay.
Zhian who says this can be also seen in Taiwan. So I guess the weddings, right? So moving.
Yeah.
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 So sorry, I come from a small country and I'm here in Hong Kong, also very small. Like,
Everyone can just go to one
I
place.
don't understand the concept of like being in two cities.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but speaking about a very traditional, like lots of everyone having different style. Here's the big question I have for you guys. So we're all in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is an international city,
Yeah.
right? So what if one day you meet someone who from Hong Kong, but maybe maybe they're not Chinese, non-Chinese. Maybe they're
Yeah.
like I don't know, like could be like Korean, could be
Oh
Indian,
my gosh.
Russian, like
Yeah.
or American. Will your parents? Do you think your parents will accept them?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a difficult question.
We can start from there.
Oh,
Okay.
That's actually a difficult question because like my parents actually, of course, encouraged me to marry someone that's Chinese, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean Chinese-Indonesian. But as long as they are Chinese, then it's okay. But I think I think they only want Chinese. They
Yeah.
want me to get married to Chinese girl
Yeah.
or maybe Chindo girl.
Yeah.
Oh, so that I think okay. Jason.
So how about you?
How about you? Passing the ball.
It's kind of a hard question.
Yeah.
Cause like I think my parents would expect me to get someone from like a foreign country, because I'm in a foreign country now.
Oh.
But it depends, because I prefer myself like an Indonesian Chinese girl too, because it would be like easier for our parents and would communicate with other
Communication-wise,
parents-in-law.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what I see from my grandparents. They would communicate with each other, because it's hard to find friends in like older age,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my mom would be okay now, since my parents are quite open-minded now, compared to like say 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Then they would probably prefer Indonesian Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe the younger ones like
Yeah,
more,
our
get more and
age.
more open-minded. and, yeah.
How about
I'm
you?
actually not sure if my mom and dad is online, because I send them the link. Yeah, so if you're online, hi. What's the question? If my parents would...
Accept
If
like,
I-
Accept-
let's say
Okay.
non-ethnically Chinese.
My mom has an answer to that from the very beginning. The answer is no. But it's more about the language. Because
Yeah, right?
for my mom, she doesn't speak English, right? So she only speaks Mandarin,
Mm.
Indonesian.
So she won't understand this now. Okay.
Yeah, she won't understand
Okay.
this now, so I can say it. And she, oh no, my brother's at home. He's
Oh.
translating right now. No, because the thing is, my mom ever said like, oh, you know, if you bring back, you know, Caucasian, I cannot speak English. All I can say is like, how are you? But we're not gonna say that every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
so-
thank you.
But that's the thing, right?
True.
You won't build a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
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 For her, like it's important that I want to get to know my children's, you know, like
Fiancé.
significant
Yeah,
other.
Yeah, significant
Yeah.
other's family.
Yeah. For her, it's more like, oh, it'll be great if the person can speak, you know,
Mhm.
Mandarin.
You wouldn't know if
Yeah.
they gossip you or that kind of.
Oh yeah, typical response to a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Also, like one of my father's concern is the difference in culture.
Mm.
So like if
Yeah.
I'm like let's say I'm a Chindo right now. If
Yeah.
I married someone, let's say from maybe Korean or maybe Indian,
Yeah.
we have a really different culture, right?
Yeah.
And it will
Mhm.
be so hard like to arrange marriage, and then we don't know if they do like sangjit or.
It goes back to the
something like
wedding
that.
plan.
Yeah, it would also like you know, celebrate two weddings and those
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
you know.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess the general answer would be like
Yeah.
not really. Maybe things will change, like the
Yes.
younger generation, but
Yeah.
still because of language, main
Yeah.
issues with language,
Language,
and being able to
communication.
communicate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Then so maybe while before we go back to the last part, actually Linka asked earlier on, like are those Muslim festivals actually important to the Indonesian Chinese as well? So maybe I think we're talking about like
Like Hari
Hari
Raya.
Raya.
Mm.
Do you call
Oh.
Hari Raya as well?
I call it
Eid,
Idul
right?
Eid,
Fitri.
yeah.
Yeah.
Idul
It depends.
Fitri.
It depends on which like festivities are we talking about.
I
Idul
think Hari
Fitri.
Raya.
Idul
Oh,
Fitri.
we have Idul Fitri, we have Idul
Lebaran.
Adha.
No, it's about. I think the question is like, how do we see it? Like, is
Oh,
it
yeah,
also
yeah.
important for? I think
Yeah.
like it's more like we also respect the event. You know,
But we
like,
also have like
yeah.
Chinese Muslims.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
true.
We have
Okay.
that as well. We do.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is like when they're celebrating, you know, Hari Raya, we're also, you know, celebrating with them by
Yeah.
like giving gifts. The most common gifts, I'm not sure for you guys, but we also give like something like this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
true.
so it's like cakes
Like
or drinks.
Oh.
But it's the canned drinks. Like the ones you mentioned that we have for Chinese New Year.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
our gift for them for their New Year's. No, that's why we incorporate their culture to us because it's actually started by them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do that.
Also, like when the Muslims are fasting,
Yeah.
we usually respect. I don't know how is it for you guys, but
Yeah.
in my school, we respect them by not eating in front of them.
We cannot drink in front
Fasting?
of
We
them.
cannot drink and eat
Yeah.
in front of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like it brought like it affects my habit on not posting like food in social
Yes.
medias during
During fasting
Yeah.
season.
during like
Okay.
those
Yeah.
Ramadan
Okay,
season.
Yes.
And usually during like the Eid Mubarak, those kind of days, festivities, I would come to my, you know, driver or my like say domestic workers
Yeah.
house to celebrate with them
Yeah.
and give them hampers. And
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. the
if I
gifts.
went back to
Yeah.
Borneo, my families would visit their teachers'
Mm.
houses too.
So
you
it's
know?
still very like respectful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So basically like
exactly.
Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like my parents would always, you know, go shopping during like Hari Raya so that they can get gifts for them. Yeah, and now it's like even online shops still have like hampers or even like small cakes that is specifically for Hari Raya, and we can get
they
it
do, like,
for like,
delivery.
exactly.
Mhm.
So it's still like a really big thing for us as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's very I think it's not so much in in Singapore for my case, but I guess it's more common like you
Yeah.
celebrate together.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I hope that answers Linka's question.
Yes.
But because the last part really is a bit more like what do you guys identify as being a Chinese-Indonesians? Because like actually I mentioned a lot of times like when we're here in Hong Kong, some people use the word, oh you are, I don't know about you, but as a Singaporean, it's like, oh you are Chinese, yeah I'm Singaporean. It's like, oh 你是中国人. Like, wait, but I'm not like Chinese, and I feel like I'm Singaporean.
Yeah.
For you guys, do you feel like deep in your heart, like do you identify more? Let's say when you introduce yourself to others, do you say
Yes.
that you are Indonesian, or do you say that you're Indonesian Chinese, or
I'll start by saying I'm Indonesian.
Okay.
But then again, like what I said in the beginning, people will ask questions. And that's when I'm like, I'm Indonesian Chinese, because people will ask questions if they're not familiar. But I think it's similar to
Like if I have to choose one,
Yeah.
I would choose Indonesian because like even my parents, my dad would teach me like don't forget where you are born. So I grew up,
Yeah.
right? I grew up. I was born in Indonesia, so you know I would say I'm Indonesian.
Yeah, usually for me, like people came to me and then start speaking Cantonese, and then I need to say, sorry, can you repeat that?
Same thing.
And then they just say, oh, you're not Chinese. Oh, no, I'm Indonesian.
Yeah, so I think it's like it's similar to all of us. Like we identify ourselves and introduce ourselves as Indonesians.
Indonesians,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So actually, for our audience in front, I hope that you guys actually learn a lot more about our Indonesian from our Indonesian
Yeah.
Chinese friends, and
We have this.
yeah, we have some gifts for you actually. This is kindly
I'm not sure if they can see it.
yeah, kindly sponsored by the Consulate General of the Republic of
Oh.
Indonesia in Hong Kong.
Wonderful Indonesia.
Indonesia. Can you maybe explain what are
It's-
these actually?
It's actually a tourism campaign.
Yeah, this one
Wonderful
is
Indonesia.
this one is tourism campaign,
Yes.
and this one is actually fan,
Yeah.
but with a batik pattern.
So it's like the shirt we're wearing.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is card holder with batik motif.
Yes, yes, yes.
Very batik, a lot of batiks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, few years back, our country started like a very major tourism campaign. So it's called Wonderful Indonesia. We always see it on the ads as well. So it's kind of like to promote Indonesia as a tourism, spot for people all over, which I think it is a really good place to visit, guys. After COVID.
This is also bookbinder.
Sorry. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bookbinder with a wayang pattern.
So
Wayang is
wayang.
actually like an Indonesian paper doll. Puppet.
Yeah, yeah.
So, wayang kulit, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jay knows it. Yeah.
We also
Yeah.
have this
Tekotak.
tekotak.
Yeah, this is not sponsored by the Consulate General. Yeah.
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 We
Can
got
you
it.
explain a little bit what it's like? Is this very famous in?
It is.
Tekotak.
Yes. This is sweet.
Dakota is quite famous, but it's so sweet. If you guys don't like sweet drinks, then
Oh,
You, you drink the blueberry one. It's not really sweet.
really,
actually sounds even sweeter. So basically, te means tea, kotak
Kotak
means
means
box. So tea box.
Tea box.
As you can see, it's a tea in a box. Very straightforward name.
And,
Yeah.
and then what is this teh pucuk?
Tepucuk.
Te
tepucuk.
pucuk harum. It's also
harum.
tea.
It's also tea.
So you guys
No,
like tea?
okay, so we really do like tea. And the thing is, it has to be sweet for some reason.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We really like sweet drinks.
And most of us drink like jasmine tea.
Yes, this is jasmine tea.
Yeah,
And this
also
is
jasmine
this
tea.
is also jasmine tea.
A different flavor.
Yeah.
And then what?
flavor.
This is like instant coffee.
Which we will not drink because
Yeah,
it's
because
pretty late.
It's kapal
Yeah.
api.
Really famous.
It's also
Yeah.
sweet for some reason.
Yeah, this is also sweet.
Yeah,
So you guys like sugar a lot.
It's
Yeah.
black coffee though.
Black coffee
coffee,
with
but
sugar.
I think which is why like most of Indonesian people are actually sweet.
Oh
Okay.
my
Oh, we have that air. Time to cut.
Time to finish it.
Time to finish it. Oh my
What
god.
is this like?
This is in chitato is like potato
Snacks.
chips. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Indomie flavored.
Fun fact: Indonesian Chinese kids are
Not allowed to eat this.
prohibited from eating snacks because they're unhealthy.
They're full of MSG, so I'm not supposed to say this. But basically, they're really good. So we can have this later. But basically, it's just like Indonesian Chinese parents would say something like, if you want to get good grades at school, you're not supposed to eat
Yes,
this.
true.
It's scientifically incorrect,
yeah.
but it's just so we can be
Do
healthier.
they tell you that you eat too much MSG, your hair will start falling?
So they say if you eat Indomie, you'll be bald by the age of 30 or something. That's what
Really?
they said. Yeah, my mom said that at
haven't heard of
least.
that.
Yeah, from the MSG.
My mom said that if you eat too much MSG, you will become an idiot.
that is very
Taro,
common.
That's very,
thing,
yeah.
mee goreng, also tasty. And
It's amazing. Yeah.
So mix of two of the best
Things together.
things
best
together.
of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So for our audience in front, if you'd like to know more about Indonesia in general or Indonesian Chinese identity, you can feel free to message us either in the comment box or follow our Instagram Intercultural Education or Facebook ICEHongKong. And you can private message us, and we would love to tell you more about our answers, right? And if you would like these gifts, again, kindly sponsored by the Consulate General of the Republic of Indonesia in Hong Kong, feel free to drop us, DM us a message, and we will send it to you. right? Right. So with that, we have to say thank you so much for being with us for the past 1 hour. Thank you, Jaslyn. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Linka, if you're still here. Right. And how do we say goodbye or like in Indonesian?
Bye.
Just bye.
Just
Bye.
bye.
Oh, that was anticlimactic.
Or selamat tinggal,
But that doesn't sound just so awful. Sampai jumpa, I see you again though.
Yeah, selamat tinggal.
Selamat tinggal.
But
Selamat
that sounds
tinggal.
so weird. Let's just say
bye.
bye.
Let's say bye. Alright, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.